Hello guys and welcome to our new math session. Today's lesson is going to be ratio. So it's a new thing to you. No one talked with you about it before, so I need you to focus with me and pay attention to understand it very well. So what does it mean ratio at the beginning? What does it mean? So the ratio is a relationship between two things when it's expressed in numbers or amounts. So it's a relation between two numbers or two amounts. It's a comparison between two numbers or two amounts. Okay, for example, if there are 10 boys and 30 girls in a room, so the ratio of boys to girls is how many boys? 10. So write down 10 and write down the ratio sign, which is, I call it 2, 30 girls in a room. So the ratio is 10 to 30. Let's understand it more. I know that you didn't get it yet. So how to express ratio? There are three ways to express a ratio. Ratio form, and its sign is 2. This sign is called 2. This sign is called 2. And for example, I can write it down 1, 2, 4. Or the word form, and we write down what we say as 1, 2, 4. So the third way is the fraction form, and we can write it down as a fraction, as 1 over 4. It's like a fraction. Okay, but there is a note. Ratio is like fractions. You have to simplify it to the simplest form. So simplifying fractions, simplifying ratios, they are the same thing. Okay, so let's have an example to understand it more. For a cube, write down as simply as possible the ratio of the number of edges to the number of faces. Number B, the number of corners to the number of edges. So first I need to remember everything about the cube. How many faces does it have? How many edges does it have? And how many vertices or corners does it have? So the number of edges for a cube, number of faces, I'm sorry, it's 6 faces, 6 square faces. So what about the number of edges? Number of edges, 12 edges. So there are 12 edges for a cube. And the number of vertices, it's gonna be 8 vertices or 8 corners. Okay, so for question number A, the number of edges to the number of faces. So I will write down edges to faces. How many edges do we have? Yes, 12. Write down 12 under edges. And how many faces do we have? It's 6 faces, so write down 6 under the faces. So it's going to be 12 to 6. And after that, I told you that the ratio is like exactly like fraction, so you have to simplify it. So think about simplifying these two numbers. When I thought about them, I just divide both of them by 6 because I can divide both of them by 6. So I will divide by 6. So 12 divided 6 equals 2 and 6 divided 6 equals 1. So 12 divided 6 equals 2 and 6 divided 6 equals 1. So the answer is going to be 2 to 1. Okay? So the ratio of number of edges to the number of faces, it's going to be 2 to 1. Okay, let's go to question number B. The number of corners to the number of edges. So I write it down, corners to edges. So how many corners do we have, or how many vertices do we have? It's 8. And how many edges do we have? It's 12. So write it down, 8 to 12. And then simplify. Search for that. Search for the times table that I can divide both 8 and 12 by it. So when I thought about it, it's at 4. So when I divide by 4 both of them, so 8 divided 4 is going to be 2, and 12 divided 4 is going to be 3. So it's going to be 8 divided 4 equals 2, and 12 divided 4 equals 3. So the answer is going to be 2 to 3. So this is the ratio. I really hope that you understand it to be able to just understand the other example. So whoever didn't understand it yet, just focus with me because I have a new thing here to say in this example. In a school, there are 540 girls and 600 boys. He needs to know here to find the ratio of girls to boys. So I'm writing it down. Girls to boys. How many girls do we have? 540. And how many boys do we have? 600 boys. So I'm just writing it down like that. 540 to 600. And after that, I have to simplify. So I can see that both of them here ends in 0. So I remember right now the divisibility rules because both of these numbers ending in 0, so I can divide by 10. So here I will have 54 and here I will have 60. Okay, And I can see here that both of them in table 6, so I can divide by 6, both of them. So here it's going to be 9, and 60 divided 6 equals 10. So the ratio of girls to boys is going to be 9 to 10. Okay? Okay, let's have another example. Find the ratio of boys to girls. What? You just got it here in question number 1. Why are you asking it about it again? No, guys, I didn't ask about the same questions. They are not the same questions here. Here it's girls to boys, and here it's boys to girls. Is it gonna be like a different answer? Of course, it's gonna be a different answer. So girls to boys here, it's 9 to 10. And boys to girls, let's check it here. Boys to girls, how many boys do we have? 600. And how many girls do we have? 540. So write it down as here. And then simplify as we've simplified that. So it's gonna be the same thing, the same everything. So it's gonna be 10 to 9 here. So here the answer is going to be 10 to 9. So what's the difference there? Both of them are the same thing. No, guys. The ratio, the most important thing in ratio is the order. So take care of the order. Here I asked first about girls to boys, so you need to write down the girls' numbers first, and after that the boys' number. And here I'm asking about boys to girls, so you have to write down the boys first before the girls. So the order is the most important thing in ratio. Okay, so let's go to question number 3. It's something new. Find the proportion of boys. What does it mean, proportion? Proportion, it means the ratio of the boys here to the total number that we have, boys and girls. So, to get the proportion, I need to get the number of boys, the ratio of boys to the total. So the number of boys 600 and the total is going to be 540 plus 600. It's going to be equal to 1140. So let's simplify it. So both of them is in table 10. So I will just divide by 10. So it's going to be 60 to 114. And after that, I can see that here, both of them is in table 6. So I can divide by 6. Here it's going to be 10, and here it's going to be 19. Okay, so the proportion of boys is going to be 10 to 19. But I prefer to write it down as a fraction. The proportion, especially the proportion, I just prefer to write down as a fraction. So it's going to be equal to 10 over 19. And remember that they are both the same. Okay, let's go to question number 4. Find the proportion of girls. So it's going to be the same thing, but instead of using the boys number, I will just use the girls number. So it's going to be girls to total, which is going to be 540 to 1140, and then divide by 10 because they are ending in 0. So it's going to be 54 to 114. And what's the common timetable between them? Yes, it's the same, 6. So here, 54 divided by 6 equals 9, and 114 divided 6 equals 19. So I will write it down 9 to 19, or because I prefer to write it down as a fraction, so it's going to be 9 over 19. Okay, let's have our classwork. I needed to pause the video for just 2 minutes to answer these 2 questions, and then continue playing the video again. Okay, here, look at the pictures, then complete the sentences. Number A, I need to know the ratio of number of erasers to the number of pencils. So I have to count the number of erasers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the number of pencils is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So number of erasers to the number of pencils is just 5 to 7. And as simple as that, I would just write it down 5 to 7, and that's it. Question number B, he needs to know the ratio of the mass of the sack of rice to the mass of the cabbage. So first I have to understand the order. He asked about the rice first, so write down rice to cabbage, and just let's get the mass of the rice first. It's 5. And after that, the mass of the cabbage is 2, so it's going to be 5 to 2. That's it. That easy, but let's get it a little bit harder. So I needed to pause the video for just 5 minutes to continue or complete this question, and after that, continue the video to understand how did I answer it. Okay, so question number 4 here, he needs to write the ratios in their simplest form. So question number A is going to be 33 to 57. Guys, by the way, I'm gonna give you a key to solve these questions. The key is just to memorize the divisibility rules or understand it very well so that you can use it here in simplifying ratios. So here 33 to 57, both of them is in table 3. How did I know that? Using divisibility rules. Because 3 plus 3 equals 6 and 5 plus 7 equals 12 and both of them is in table 3. So I will divide by 3, both of them. So 33 divided 3 is going to be 11 and 57 divided by 3 is going to be 19. And if you cannot do it, just do it like long division to get the answer 19. So the answer is going to be 11 to 19. Okay, question number B, 34 to 14. So what's the common timetable? Okay, they are both even numbers, so I can divide them by 2. So divided by 2, both of them, 34 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 17, and 14 divided 2 equal to 7. Is this the simplest form? Yes, it's the simplest form. So I will just answer it like that, 17 to 7. Okay, question number C is going to be 45 to 90. So let's simplify it. Both of them here, this number is ending in 5 and this number ending in 0. So I think that both of them is in table 5. So I will divide them by 5. Okay, so 45 divided by 5 is going to be equal to 9. And 90 divided by 5 is going to be equal to 18. Okay, is this the simplest form? No. So because I see here it's 9 and here it's 18, so they are in the same table, 9. So I can divide by 9 both of them. So it's going to be 1 to 2 and write down the answer 1 to 2. Or you can use our secret to solve this question. Once you see that this number is half of this number, so the answer is 1 to 2. Exactly like the fraction. If you remember when we talked about the fraction, once the numerator is half the denominator, so the simplest form is going to be half. So here it's going to be the same because I'm telling you since the beginning of this session, ratios is just like a fraction. So focus in that place. Okay, let's go to question number D. 63 to 36. So I can see here that both of them is in table 3 and both of them is in table 9. So I just can divide by 9. So 63 divided by 9 is going to be 7 and 36 divided by 9 is going to be 4. So the answer is going to be 7 to 4. Okay, question number E. 64 to 160. So I can see here that both of them is in table 8. So I can divide them by 8. So 64 divided by 8 is going to be 8, and 160 divided 8 is going to be 20. How did I do that? I just ignored the 0, and 16 divided 8 is going to be 2, and the 0 travels to the answer, so it's going to be 20. Okay, so 8 to 20, are they the simplest form? No. I can see here that both of them is in table 4, so I will divide by 4. So the answer is going to be 2 to 5, because 8 divided by 4 is going to be 2, and 20 divided by 4 is going to be 5. So the answer is going to be 2 to 5. Question number F is 120 to 80. So first, both of them ending in 0, so I will divide by 10. So the answer is going to be 12 to 8. And both of them is in table 4, so I can divide by 4. So it's going to be 3 to 2. And ask yourself this question. Is this the simplest form? If the answer is no, so you have to continue. If the answer is yes, so you have to put the answer here. 3 to 2. Okay, let's go for the last classwork here. So I needed to pause the video for 5 minutes to answer these questions. And by the way, if you answered question number 6, really it's a brain teasing question. So it means that you understand this lesson like very well. So pause the video for 5 minutes and then come back to me. Okay, question number 5 here. There are 9 adults and 27 children at a party. What is the ratio of number of children to the number of adults? Give your answer in the simplest form. So first, he just asked about the ratio of the number of children to the number of adults. So children first. So I have to write it down in this order. Children to adults. So how many children do we have? 27. And how many adults? 9. So write it down. 27 to 9. And then I have to simplify. If you looked at and focused on these numbers, you will find out that both of them is in table 9. So I divided by 9. So 27 divided 9 is going to be 3, and 9 divided 9 is going to be 1. So the ratio in simplest form is going to be 3 to 1. Okay, question number 6, it's a little bit tricky because I told you here to focus and to understand that the ratio is exactly like the fraction. So let's understand it here together. Ali has blue marbles and red marbles in the ratio of 7 to 5. So first I have to write down blue to red in the ratio of 7 to 5. Okay, what's the question? If there are 35 blue marbles, how many red marbles does Ali have? So he has 35 marbles here. So 7 became 35. It's like a fraction. I'm getting an equivalent fraction. 7 became 35. How? I just multiplied by 5. So 7 times 5 equal 35. And whatever you're doing here, you have to do it in the other way. So I have to multiply 5 in the other direction. So 5 times 5 equals, yes, 25. So Ali has 25 red marbles. I hope that you understand this question because it's a very important question. So that's it, guys. This is the ratio and proportion. So I hope that you understand that. So your homework is going to be sheet on Google Classroom. And thank you very much for listening and have a nice day.